Hello guys, welcome back to Talk with CX. As for today's video, we're gonna talk about social isolation. What's social isolation? Social isolation, meaning in simple terms, an individual may experience some kind of social disconnection among their peers, maybe among their peers, their friends, their families, and even maybe their colleagues, which this can lead to some kind of feeling of loneliness, which they feel like they don't belong. So according to a study conducted by Malaysian Ministry of Higher Education, approximately 70% of students may experience a sense of social isolation during their academic journey, which is a widespread of this issue among Malaysian youth. As we dive deeper into this topic, I've invited a former INTI student by the name of Han to share about his thoughts among this issue, which is a widespread among the Malaysian youth. So without further ado, let us dive deeper into this topic.
Yes, I do feel this social isolation when I was in university. So perhaps the main factors I would say is because of maybe we have different hobbies or maybe different mindset that contributes to the fact that I'm unable to blend in the groups in my university life. For me, I would say difference in hobbies or difference in interests or what most of the young people or the university students will say different vibe. You're unable to vibe with the people. That this contributes to social isolation. This is the main factor that causes isolation. Okay, so it impacted us in a way where because during school life we should be mixing around with the students, we should be mingling around with the students, interact with the teachers and the classmates during class. But since COVID, everyone was stuck in the room, everyone had to stay at home, unable to go out and mix around with the people. So a lot of students start to lose social skills, that they do not know how to mix around with their friends, when they don't even know who are their classmates. Like, I do have a friend beside my circle, my coursemate, where he started his degree when the COVID-19 pandemic hits the world, when it just started. Until the time when the COVID situation starts to subside, he graduated. So he told me that up to the day his graduation, before his convocation, he didn't know who were his classmates. Okay, for me, right, is we don't have to see so far like international students. Let's just say in our, in this place where we can actually see it, it's quite common, where students of different races, the minority mixed with the majority race, and when the majority race speaks in their own, I would say, mother tongue, where the minority could not understand, that minority will feel left out as well. Some students, they tend to only focus on their social media. They only will use their phones and watch their videos and not interact with one another. So when it comes to that point, they tend to not be able to interact with people. They do not know how to really mix around with the people. Of course, there are people who are really good in expressing themselves in social media, but that does not apply to every student, because certain students, they only know how to use their phones to watch videos and all this, where they didn't really utilize it to express themselves and so this actually elevates the social isolation among students in university. Basically, the campus side, the management, or even the lecturers, they can organize the event where students get a more chance to know each other. For example, ice-breaking games, events and all this, where it can really enhance the students' social skills, and also they can organize more workshops of how to express themselves. A lot of students, not only in universities but also schools, they are unable to mix around with people. They tend to get isolated because they are not really good in expressing themselves. So the campus, they can organize the event where conduct workshops of how can they express themselves through writing, through posting blogs, pictures, and writing blogs and all this. Because social media, these are all tools that can be useful for students to express themselves. So when they find a platform to express themselves, these tend to improve the social isolation situation in university. So they will affect students in a way when the students they got social isolated from, let's say, their course, the class, or even the clubs and all this, right? It will cause them to be unable to fit in the society. Of course, this is what we are talking about right now, but it mainly will make them feel reluctant to go to school. It will make them lose interest in studies, where it will actually impact their results, and also their social skills, which I believe it will bring a very big negative impact, where they are unable to express themselves well, or they tend to have this low self-esteem. And this actually brings a really, really bad impact for the students when they graduate, when they look for jobs and all this, right? They are unable to really work as a team, because when they were studying, they experience social isolation. And not only that, but they tend to have overstress as well. Like if they will get bullied, sometimes if it gets really severe, they may develop depression, where it can lead them to suicide and all this. Well, for me, right, okay, campus is a good thing that campus organizes a lot of events, different clubs organize different events. It's good. So I believe that definitely there will be a lot of students where they want to join as much club as they can, as much event as they can, where it will make them unable to balance themselves between campus activities and academic studies. So the best way, in my opinion, is to how you call it, you join the event that you can handle. Don't join too much event at once, but join moderate amount of events where you can handle between club events and academic studies. Okay, for me, right, okay, first, you don't need to be afraid to mix around with people. The campus, there's a lot of students, and definitely there will be a few students that really you can mix with. You just approach a student, like maybe through a mutual friends or maybe a club activities, and just say hi, just talk to them. And if they willing to befriend you, then of course that's a good thing. But even if they do not want to mix with you, it's okay. At least you tried. So you can just find around and mix around. And actually, you don't need to have a lot of friends in campus universities. But for me, it's actually you just need to have a few friends will do. Maybe 4 or 5 friends, true friends will do, and it's already good enough. For like during my diploma days, I mainly mix with only 5%. Of course, I have other friends, but those are mainly hi-bye friends, and the remaining 5 of them are my close friends during diploma days, and they are still my close friends up to this day. We still go out for dinner, or walk around when we are free after work. So yeah, it's actually, you don't need to have a lot of friends. You don't have to be so famous, but just have a few friends, the true ones that are willing to be there for you. They're willing to listen to your problems. Those kind of friends would do.
Well, I do agree with what Hans stated, which is joining clubs or maybe some kind of organization which capture your interest, because this might You might meet people with the same interests as you, and you might not feel like isolating yourself because you finally found the people with the same interests as you, with the same interests. So maybe join a club, as what Han said. You as an individual, you need to practice self-care. Love yourself, know your own worth. Try to take care of yourself maybe by engaging in activities that brings you joy, maybe relaxation, and whether if it's reading, exercising, dancing, or maybe going out with your friends, which can practice mindfulness. Prioritize activities that prioritize your self-care. Last but not least, be kind to yourself. Remember, you're not alone, and just practice self-compassion. Social isolation indeed is challenging for everyone out there, including me. If I ever experience social isolation, it's gonna be a challenge for me, but I have to think positive. I have to, take baby steps. And you need to know that there are people out there who are like you, who are not. You need to know that you're not alone, and there are people out there who wanted to help and support you. Remember, it's okay to ask for help, but take baby steps and prioritize your mental health and well-being. You deserve to feel connected and loved and be loved. And that's the end of today's video. Hopefully you learned something both from me and from Han. Till next time, bye bye.